Okay. It's a big chizuk for me to be here, to see the excitement of thanking Hashem. The pasuk says, Yisrael asher becha et pa'al. As hard as it is to imagine, Hashem tells us that He becomes glorified through us. We bring Hashem glory. Although Hashem, we are nothing, we're little, we're created beings, we have the ability to bring glory to Hashem. And when Hashem brags about us, what does He say that's so special? Am zu yatzarti li, when He wants to brag about the nation that He created, Tehilati yisaperu. He brags by saying, they say my praises. The Orach Chaim writes, Parashat Bamidbar, Hashem gets pleasure from the Malachim in Shamayim, giving Him praises. He gets more pleasure from the Tzaddikim, who have passed on, who are in Shamayim now, praising Him. But He gets the most pleasure from us down here, when we're not able to see Hashem so clearly, we're not able to recognize Him. The praises that He gets from us give Him the most nachat ruach. To thank Hashem as you are doing for the most simplest of things that everybody in the world takes for granted. We hear a lot of stories about miracles, and people are thanking Hashem for the miracles. Imagine someone told me a story, said that their husband was out of a job, he didn't have even money to buy food for Shabbat, and she said it was a Thursday night, he was outside in the street, someone pulled up in front of him, rolled down the window, handed him an envelope that said food for Shabbat on it. He opened it up and it was cash. It's unbelievable. Hashgachat Hashem. He thanked Hashem. He bought the food and he's singing the praises of Hashem. He has no idea who did that. But what about if a person has a job and he gets a paycheck on Thursday and he has enough money to go buy food for Shabbat? Does he have the same enthusiasm? Are you so kind, Hashem? Thank you. Thank you. Hashem did much better for you. You didn't have to go waiting, begging in the street. He gave you a job. He gave it to you. To appreciate what we take for granted and thank Hashem. Rabbi Ashear said he was talking to a fellow who was trying to raise money. He needed a heart transplant. He was going from Israel to America to get an artificial heart. And he told the rabbi he needs $1 million for it. The rabbi told one of his students afterwards, he says, imagine this fellow, someone would come over to him and say, I'm going to give you the whole $1 million. How much hakarat hatov, you're so kind. $1 million. The rabbi said, Hashem gives us a real heart. It's not artificial. It's worth billions. How many times did we thank Hashem for the heart that's pumping inside of us? Rabbeinu Yonah writes in Sha'arei Teshuvah Perek Gimel, thinking about the kindnesses of Hashem is a positive commandment from the Torah. Mitzvat aseh avizacharta et kol haderech. So writes the Sefer Charedim as well. Imagine, every time you think about a chesed Hashem, that's another mitzvah taseh. David HaMelech said, Avarechat Hashem bechol et, tamid tehilato befi. And the Shelah Kadosh explains, Bechol et is the 3 tefillot. He thanks Hashem in Shacharit, Mincha, and Arbi, and Tamid Tehilato Befiv is the rest of the day, all day long. He has the Shem Shamayim Shagur Befiv. Thank you for this, thank you for that. You don't have to thank Hashem only at a specific time, all day long. Thank Hashem. There's people who are looking for more ways to appreciate. I once heard of a rabbi, he had a medical condition, and he was in the hospital for a month or two. And after he got out, he said, "Doctor, could you write down everything that I went through? Write down everything that I had?" And he keeps it in his talis bag. And every morning, before he puts on his talis, he says, "Thank you, Hashem, I'm able to put it on. I don't have this anymore. You're so kind." To thank Hashem for things we take for granted. To thank Hashem when He gives us open blessing. You know, many people, they can miss it. He gave it to me. He gave me the deal. She gave this to me. Anytime Chavot Levavot says a human being gives you something, all they are is a shaliach from Hashem. The second you get something from anybody, thank you Hashem. To thank Hashem for all the hashgacha that He has upon us. I sent out an email a week ago about how someone felt so good understanding that Hashem was guiding their every move. And 3 people sent me emails that day saying, "I had the same experience today." One lady said she told one of her neighbors on the block had a hard time in labor, and she was basically bedridden at home. And she called her up on Wednesday, and she says, "I would like to make dinner for you. Can I make dinner?" She says, "Well, have dinner. Tomorrow night would be perfect. We like to eat light. My children on Thursday night, they like baked ziti." She says, "Perfect, I'll make you baked ziti and salad." She says she makes a grocery order every Wednesday evening. It comes on Thursday. By the time she gets home from her day at 3 o'clock, the groceries are waiting. This time she gets home Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock, the groceries didn't come. She needs the stuff to make the baked ziti. 4 o'clock, she calls them up. "Where are you?" "Sorry, we're late today." She knows they're eating in a couple of hours. She can't leave. She herself had a baby recently. She can't go out to get the ingredients. 5 o'clock, 5:30, they didn't come. There's no way for her to make the baked ziti. She tells all her children, "Let's dive into Hashem. Hashem can do anything. Hashem, please give us the best." Sitting in their home, davening for baked ziti. She says the doorbell rings, you're not going to believe it. She said, one of my friends comes to the door and says, "I know you just had a baby. We decided to make dinner for you tonight." She opens up the tray and it's piping hot, fresh baked ziti. She said, "Unbelievable." And she brought the baked ziti to her neighbor with the salad, and she said, "Thank you, Hashem." Hashgacha nifla'ah of Hashem upon us all the time. And the same day, another lady sent me an email. She said, her daughter, or maybe she called, her daughter said, "Ma, I need contact lens solution. I must have it. I'm out. I can't take my contact lenses out tonight if I don't have the solution." Mother said, "Don't worry, I'll get it for you today." That day she was in Target doing her shopping, totally forgot about it. She's online to pay at the cash register, and a Jewish woman behind her makes conversation. "Hi, how are you? How about?" They're talking, what are they talking about? Target. "What a great store this is. What a great store. Oh, I can't tell you." The lady behind her says, "They have everything here, even contact lens solution." She says, "What? Contact lens? Oh, thank you so much." She goes back and she gets the contact lens solution for her daughter. Thank you, Hashem. What are the odds? You're going to put somebody behind me online and tell me, go get the contact solution. This is hashgacha nifla. All day long. Thank Hashem for the simple hashgacha. And thank Hashem for the wondrous hashgacha. I heard a story about a month and a half ago. One of the greatest hashgacha stories I have heard in my entire life. His name is Rabbi Chaim Zaid from Israel. He said he married off his first daughter last year. And they had a wedding celebration. It was beautiful. Everybody came, celebrated with them. And he had a cousin, we'll call him Avi. Second or third cousin, he doesn't know him that well. They're not so close. He comes to the wedding and he gives the rabbi an envelope. He says, this is for your daughter. The rabbi opened the envelope. He saw he gave him 400 shekel. 400 shekalim. He said, that's a very nice gift, Avi. I don't know you so well. 400 shekalim, thank you very much. He gave it to his daughter. He was appreciative. He said, a few weeks later, the rabbi gets an invitation in the mail. Avi's daughter is getting married. It's beautiful. I'm so happy for him. I'm going to his wedding. I guess I have to return the favor. So he's thinking what he's going to give him back. Should I give him 400 shekalim? That's not nice. The same thing he gave me, I'm going to give him back. Should I give him 450 shekalim? 50 is not a nice number. I'm going to give him 500 shekel. He puts the envelope, the cash, and he says it's a sacrifice for him. He's a rabbi, he doesn't have so much money. He goes to the wedding excited to give Avi the 500 shekalim. This rabbi is Temani, he's dark-skinned. He walks into the wedding hall. Right in the front there's a box with a hole. You stick the envelopes in. He takes it out of his pocket, he puts it in. He walks into the wedding hall. He doesn't recognize a person. Everybody is light-skinned. He said, is this Avi's wedding? No, this is this wedding. He's in the other. My money! I need my money back. The rabbi, he goes over to the box. He's looking at it. He says, should I try to break in? It's not nice, Rabbi. I have no choice. I'm going to go to the father of the Khatan and tell him what happened. He says, where's the father of the Khatan? He's on the dance floor. He goes over to him, he taps him on the shoulder. He says, excuse me. The father turns around, he says, Rav Chaim Zaid, you came to my wedding? Wow. We didn't even invite you and you came. Unbelievable. He starts dancing with him. He's dancing. He calls over his son, Yaakov. Rav Chaim Zaid came. They're dancing. The rabbi said, I'm thinking the whole time, I'm still going to ask him for the money. They finish the dance. They get off the dance. He says, please, can I talk to you 1 minute? Sure, Rabbi, anything. I'm so appreciative you came to the wedding. He said, listen, when I walked in tonight, I put an envelope in the box. What? You gave us a gift to your mother. He hugs him. There's nobody like you. I can't believe it. We didn't even send you an invitation and you brought a gift. Rav Chaim Zaid said at that moment, he said, Hashem, hashgacha perati. You want my money in this Chatan and Kala's bank account? No problem. Let them have the money. I hope they enjoy it. He goes back. He goes to the next wedding. He tells Avi, I'm sorry, I didn't bring the envelope. I'm going to bring it to you tomorrow. And sure enough, the next day, he brings him 500 shekalim. It cost him 1,000 shekel. The next day, he gets a phone call from this father of the Chatan. He said, Rabbi, I can't thank you enough for coming to the wedding. You made the whole wedding. You know, in your zichut, I just made shalom, I made peace with someone that I haven't spoken to in 5 years. He said, what did I do? He said, 5 years ago, I helped somebody in business. He was down and out. I gave him money. I got him back onto his feet. And then he married off a child. And he didn't invite me to the wedding. And I was so insulted. I said, how could he not invite me after what I did for him? A few days after his wedding, I saw him in the street. He crossed to the other side. I said, he can't even look at me. I'm never talking to him again. And I haven't spoken to him in 5 years. But Rabbi, when you came to the wedding the other night, you made me start thinking. I didn't invite you, and you came. I thought to myself, if someone feels they should be at a wedding, they should just go. Even if they don't have an invitation, you don't have to eat there. Go and wish them Mazel Tov. I understood it was my fault. I should have gone. I called up my friend and I told him, hi. I introduced myself again. He said, I'm angry at you. I said, you're angry at me? I'm angry at you. He said, why did you come to my wedding? I said, you didn't invite me. He said, of course I invited you. The invitation got misplaced. Anyway, he apologized. He told him the whole story. The rabbi coming to his wedding, he said, it's my fault. I should have came. They met for coffee. They hugged and they kissed each other. And he said, Rabbi, it's all your merit. The rabbi told him, I'm so happy. He said, Rabbi, isn't it true that if you make peace, it's an eteratzon, it's a time of divine favor, that you can have all your tefillot answered? He said, absolutely. He said, Rabbi, please give me a beracha. Sure, what do you need a beracha for? He said, you know, you came to my son's wedding. I have a son 4 years older than him. He's having the hardest time in shidduchim. Please, give him a beracha. He should find the zivug. And the rabbi gave him a beracha. A few days later, another man sees Rabbi Zaid in the street. He taps him on the shoulder. Rabbi Chaim Zaid? He said, yes. He says, I want to introduce myself. I'm the person that man made friends with. He told me it was because of you. We made up. You don't know what you did for me. I had this burden on my back, being enemies with someone. It was so hard. It ate me inside. Thank you for what you did. Rabbi, I heard you're a very holy man. Could you give me a beracha? He said, sure. What do you need a beracha for? He says, I have an older daughter. She's still not married. She's going through such hard times. He said, you have an older daughter? Hang on a minute. He calls up the other fellow. You know he has a daughter? No, I don't know. And he made the shidduch, and they got married. The rabbi said, I got all my money back from the Devei Shadchanis. And I'm thinking of this story. When the rabbi said that story, I'm thinking in my mind, look at what Hashem did. You have a couple who are never going to meet each other. Their parents hate each other. How are they going to get married? They're going through such hard times. Hashem sent them a message. He made a rabbi go to the wrong wedding just so he could think of that message and call up to apologize. This is the awesome hashgacha of Hashem at all times on us, to walk around knowing, Hashem, you're controlling my life. You're in charge of every second. Thank you, Hashem. It's unbelievable to thank Hashem for what we take for granted, to thank Hashem for the open beracha, and the greatest level of all is to thank Hashem during the tough times. To thank Hashem when we don't understand why you're doing this. The pasuk says, Harchev picha v'amalehu. I saw an explanation today. How do you widen your mouth? What does that mean? One of the Sfarim said, by smiling. Widen your mouth. Hashem says, I want you to walk around the world smiling. I don't want you to be depressed. Smile no matter what you're going through and thank me. And in that merit, I'll fulfill all your requests. I want you to be happy. Hashem doesn't want to see us down. He doesn't want to see us sad. No matter what we're going through, this is the answer. Someone who has tough times, they can't think. Someone called me up. He said, I can't think about anything. All I think about is my problems. I have knots in my stomach. I told him, you have knots in your stomach? Go and talk to Hashem in your own words and tell him thank you for what he's doing to you, because you can't imagine how great it is. And every time you thank him, you're going to feel those knots getting looser and looser. Someone once sent a letter to the Rebbe from Lubavitch, the Admor. He told him, Rebbe, my life is so hard, I have so many problems. And he wrote, my wife and I can't go on like this. We have 10 children. I'm just making ends meet. And I live in a 3-room apartment. We cannot budge. I don't have an extra penny to spend to have a larger house. I can't go on like this. The Rebbe sent him back. First of all, Mazel Tov that you have a wife. Mazel Tov, you got married. Unbelievable. I see from your letter, you own an apartment. You know how many people wished they owned an apartment? You're the owner of an apartment. And let me tell you, Mazel Tov, for each child, you have 10 children. You know how many people beg for children? You have all that and you can't go on. And you can make all your bills. You're making all your ends meet. Go rethink your life and tell me that you can't go on like that. How much beracha every single person has. I'll conclude with a story that I read today from the yeshiva of Navardik in Mezrich. The Rebbe at the time, the Rosh Yeshiva, was having a tough time collecting to put food to the Bachrim because there was a time of hunger. And he was going from door to door asking for bread. And it was almost time for Pesach. And he needed, besides for all the food, he had to get the best flour with the best mehadrin for the matzahs. And the rabbi is searching and looking, and finally, with a big heroic effort, he managed to get enough flour for the yeshiva. And he put it in the yeshiva attic. And the Bachrim heard, we don't have so much bread, but we're going to have plenty of matzah. They were all excited. About 2 weeks before Pesach, there was a hailstorm, very strong hail. And the attic of the yeshiva, the roof got damaged in the storm. And rain came in, leaked through, and made all the flour chametz. And the Bachrim was so depressed. Now we don't have matzah. What are we going to do? They couldn't even learn. The Rosh Yeshiva called them all and he said, I want to ask you a question. Who is the one who commanded us to eat matzah? I said, what's your question? Hashem. Who is the one who gave us that flour that we had in the attic of the yeshiva? Who gave it to us? Hashem. Who is the one who brought the hail and broke the roof? Hashem. Who is the one who brought the rain and made the flour chametz? Hashem. He said, so you're doing Ratzon Hashem right now. Hashem wants this. Be happy that we're living the Ratzon Hashem. And know, the same Hashem who brought us that matzah, could brought us that flour, could bring it to us just as easily again. And the Bachrim got happy. And they said, if we're doing Ratzon Hashem, we're going to be happy, Rebbe. And they were all b'simcha. And 2 days before Pesach, so a generous donor came to the yeshiva and donated all the money for them to get the flour. And they had plenty of matzah. You get much more bracha from being happy and thanking than being depressed and saying, why'd you do this? Continue with your holy work. Continue thanking Hashem. But don't just do it with your lips. Feel it. Thank Hashem with the tefillah. Thank Hashem in your own words. Thank Hashem all the time. This is what he brags about. Am zu yatzati. Look at my nation. Look how great they are. Tehilati yisaberu.